What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Noah Gray here, tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Josh's channel and check out showmefootball.com for more.
What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh Fan of showmefootball.com and arrowheadaddict.com, covering your Kansas City Chiefs. And yesterday I gave an injury update on Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Hollywood Brown. It was very positive, and I asked you guys down below in the comments to let me know how you felt about it. And the overwhelming majority of you really brushed off the news and were more concerned about what the Kansas City Chiefs are going to do at left tackle, saying things like it doesn't matter if nobody can block. Mahomes isn't going to be able to get him the ball because he's getting pressured so much. Left tackle, what are we doing about that? Donovan Smith, what's the latest? So I wanted to make a video kind of breaking down the situation at left tackle and what the best solution, what the best way forward is for the Kansas City Chiefs at left tackle, whether that is sticking with Wanya Morris or bringing in free agent Donovan Smith. So with the overwhelming majority of people being so interested in Donovan Smith potentially returning to Kansas City, I decided to do a deep dive on whether that's truly the best option for Kansas City at this point. When Wanya Morris got hurt against the Denver Broncos a couple weeks ago, and we saw rookie left tackle Kingsley Suamataia come in and really struggle to the point where it was hindering the offense from doing much of anything, a lot of people were thinking, oh my God, if Wanya Morris is out for any stretch of time, you have to bring someone in because Kingsley isn't going to get it done. And who knows about Wanya Morris, because he struggled at times too, including that Raiders game that was probably his worst of the season, and that wasn't too long ago at this point. So people were thinking, why not just bring in Donovan Smith, who was solid for you last year? He's a comfortable option. He provides somewhat of a high floor for you. Why not? Like, this seems like a rather obvious move. Why haven't the Chiefs done it? And to preface, I am not against the idea of bringing in Donovan Smith at all. You know, in a break glass, in case of emergency situation, to have him on your bench, get him in the building, get him, up to speed, get him in practice, and then if you need him later on, he's there for you instead of signing him whenever it's too late. I'd much rather see that, and I'd love to have him in the room, especially as a teacher to Kingsley Suamataia and Wanya Morris, who's also still relatively young. I'm not opposed to a Donovan Smith signing, but after doing a little bit more research, guys, I'm not totally sure Donovan Smith is the best option at left tackle. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that the Chiefs haven't had offensive line issues this year. There have been matchups in which Wanya Morris has really struggled. Both the tackles, including Jawan Taylor, there's been times where they've struggled. Mahomes has been taking a lot of unnecessary hits this year. But let's get into the numbers a little bit. So I saw this tweet on X or Twitter. I still call it Twitter, from Zach Eisen at Zach Eisen21. A lot of you may know him, but he laid the numbers out, and he compared 2024 Wanya Morris to 2023 Donovan Smith. In 2023, Donovan Smith had 53 pressures allowed, 688 pass block snaps, and a 7.7 pressure rate. So far through 2024 and 310 pass blocking snaps, Wanya Morris has 21 pressures allowed, which is a 6.77 pressure rate, almost a whole percentage point lower than what Donovan Smith did in 2023. So really, Wanya Morris isn't performing any worse than Donovan Smith did last year. In fact, he's probably been better. Now, let's take this a step further. I have a few more stats from a couple more guys on Twitter. Next is at DMacWake316. Again, a lot of you may know him, but he brought up the PFF pressure allowed efficiency metric. 2023 Donovan Smith graded out at 95.6 when it came to pressure allowed efficiency. 2024 Wanya Morris is at a 95.5, just a tick below Donovan Smith in 2023. But wait, there's more. Patrick Mahomes threw 10 games in 2023, 149 pressures faced, 8.7% pressure to sack ratio. Mahomes in 2024, 124 pressures, 17.7% pressure to sack ratio. Now, let's also take a look at my guy Adam Best's tweet from Arrowhead Addict. He says Patrick Mahomes' pressure to sack rate is 5% higher than his worst previous season. Not sure what exactly is causing this, because he is usually among the league leaders at evading sacks, and as you can see in the graphic, in 2024, Patrick Mahomes has a 17% pressure to sack ratio, and that's significantly higher than any other year in his career. Mahomes is actually facing one of the lowest pressure rates he's faced since the 2020 season, in which we know what happened with the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. So if you guys couldn't already tell what I'm getting at here, the offensive line play, and particularly Wanya Morris's play, hasn't really been an issue, or as big of an issue as people are making it out to be. This is a situation where Patrick Mahomes has been significantly worse at evading pressure this year, or evading sacks. This is typically an area in which he's been pretty elite, but this year it just hasn't been the case. He hasn't been getting out of the way of defenders. And let's look at last game against the Buffalo Bills as well. People probably figure that Patrick Mahomes got pressured way more in that game than Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills did. But that would actually be incorrect. Josh Allen was pressured 26 times in 77 snaps. Mahomes was only pressured 17 times in 55 snaps. Now, of course, there's a discrepancy there in the number of snaps, and the Bills did hold the ball for longer, but the Buffalo Bills were much better at sustaining drives than the Kansas City Chiefs were, despite the amount of pressure that Josh Allen faced. Now, you could go a couple weeks back to the Denver Broncos game and point out the fact that Mahomes faced a higher pressure rate in that game than any other game he's played in a long time, and it's an easy answer. Kingsley Suamataia played in that game, and I'm not here to argue that Kingsley Suamataia has been objectively bad this year. That is absolutely true. And I'm also not here to say that offensive line play hasn't been an issue at times this year. That's absolutely a fact. But when you combine everything that I just laid out, the statistics for Wanya Morris backing up the fact that he's actually played pretty well relative to this idea that people have of Donovan Smith, he actually seems like the best option. When you combine all that with the fact that Donovan Smith has been sitting at home, didn't go through training camp, hasn't been playing football, he's not in game shape, Wanya Morris is the best option that the Kansas City Chiefs have at left tackle. Now, all that being said, I'm not against signing Donovan Smith. I'm team sign Donovan Smith for depth reasons in case Wanya Morris gets hurt again or something else disastrous happens. I also think it'd be valuable to have him there as a teacher, but if you guys have the idea that the Kansas City Chiefs should sign Donovan Smith as some sort of upgrade to Wanya Morris, I just don't think that's what you're going to get. In fact, I think you'd get marginally worse play from Donovan Smith because of the fact that he hasn't been playing football. I think this is something that Patrick Mahomes simply just needs to grow into, Wanya Morris being his left tackle. I could definitely see an argument from people that maybe Patrick Mahomes isn't quite comfortable with Wanya Morris yet, doesn't have that same trust with him like he had with Donovan Smith, which is leading to him making more bad decisions, forcing throws, walking into pressures, walking into sacks. I get that, but that's on Mahomes. It's not on Wanya Morris. It makes Wanya Morris look bad, or it paints a bad picture of Wanya Morris when he's actually been better than Donovan Smith was in 2023. So that is my conclusion that I have come to on the Donovan Smith versus Wanya Morris question that has been asked by a ton of you. I get it, but Wanya Morris is the better option. So I want to hear from you guys what your thoughts are now on the idea of signing Donovan Smith, or what role you would have in mind for him if the Kansas City Chiefs were to sign him. After hearing this information, has your opinion changed at all? Or are you still all in on Donovan Smith? Would love to hear from you guys what your thoughts are down below. But with all that being said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. And make sure you check out my work on showmefootball.com and arrowheadaddict.com for more. And I'll see you all in the next one. Go Chiefs!